There's a reason they call 3 a.m. the devil's hour. For centuries, people swore it was when the dead walked and the veil went thin, when you'd snap awake in the dark for no reason at all. And here's the unsettling part. They weren't entirely wrong. Something really does happen to you at 3 a.m. every single night. It's older than language. It's happening inside your body right now, and it has nothing to do with demons. We just forgot what it was and started calling it a disorder. Because here's what you've been told. 8 hours straight through, no waking up, that's good sleep. So when you jolt awake at 3 a.m., heart going, mind racing, doing the cruel little math of how many hours do I have left, you file it under broken. Insomnia, stress, getting old. You reach for a pill. You've got it backwards. That wake up isn't your sleep falling apart. It might be the most natural thing your body does all night. Part of it is pure machinery. Your deepest sleep burns off in the first few hours. So by 3 in the morning, you're coasting on thin, dreamy, easily shattered sleep. At that exact moment, your core temperature bottoms out, colder than you'll be at any other point in the day. And cortisol, the chemical that will eventually drag you out of bed, quietly begins to rise. Your whole body tips over a threshold. Of course you wake up. You were always going to. But that's just the machine. The real story, why that ordinary wake-up floods you with dread, is something we did to ourselves about 200 years ago. And it's strange. It starts with a historian named Roger Ekirch. He wasn't even looking for it. He was buried in old records, diaries, court testimony, letters 400 years old, when he started noticing a ghost. The same two words over and over where they made no sense. First sleep and second sleep. Never explained. Written down the way you'd write lunch. Like everyone reading already knew. He found it more than 500 times. Homer wrote it, Chaucer wrote it, Dickens wrote it. And slowly it dawned on him that he'd uncovered something we had completely erased. For thousands of years, humans did not sleep the way you do. They slept in two. Picture it. The year is 1700. A man goes to bed when it gets dark, and a few hours later, around midnight, he simply wakes up. And he is not afraid. This is normal. So he lies there in the black, or lights a candle. He prays. He pokes the fire. He has sex. He gets up and walks to a neighbor's house to talk in the dead of night, like it's nothing. There was a word for that floating hour between the sleeps. The French called it dorveil, and doctors recommended it. One medical manual swore the best time to conceive a child was after the first sleep, when you were rested enough to enjoy it. For most of human history, the middle of the night wasn't empty. It was a room everyone visited. A second, secret day. And then we burned it down. Not on purpose. It was the light, gas lamps, then the bulb. Suddenly the night had an off switch. Bedtimes crept later, the dark got shorter, and the gap in the middle got crushed out of existence. In a few generations, an entire half of human sleep vanished so completely that no one remembered it had ever existed. That's the cruel part. The second sleep didn't just leave, it left and took the memory of itself with it. So now, when your body tries to do the old thing and wake you in the dark, you have no idea what's happening. You just think something's wrong with you, unless you take the modern world away again. And in the early 1990s, a scientist named Thomas Ware did exactly that. He ran an experiment that sounds almost like a punishment. He took ordinary people and stripped every light out of their nights. 14 hours of total darkness, every night for a month. No lamps, no screens, just the deep ancient dark. For weeks, nothing. And then it happened. Their sleep split, straight down the middle. First sleep, a stretch of waking. Second sleep, the exact pattern from Ekirch's dusty records, rebuilding itself inside modern bodies, with nobody told to do a thing. But the part that gives me chills is what their brains did in the gap. Ware measured the hormones, and that waking hour was flooded with prolactin, the same warm, drowsy chemical that washes through a nursing mother, or two people in the minutes after sex. These weren't anxious insomniacs staring at a ceiling. They were floating, calm, halfway between waking and dreaming in the most peaceful hour of the night. Which means the horror you feel at 3 a.m. was never in the waking. It's in you. The lit phone, the countdown, the certainty that something is wrong. Your body eases open that ancient prolactin soft door, offers you the calmest hour it has. And you answer it with panic. You're handed a gift, and you treat it like an alarm. Now, I have to stop and be honest, because the clean version of this story breaks. And where it breaks is even better. A scientist named Jerome Siegel didn't trust the diaries. So he went and found the closest thing on Earth to before. 3 peoples who still live with no electricity at all. The Hadza, deep in Tanzania. The San in the Kalahari. The Simene in the Bolivian Amazon. He wired up 94 of them and recorded over 1,000 nights of the most natural sleep left on the planet. And they blew a hole in the theory. They don't sleep in 2, 1 block, straight through. But then Siegel found the thing that actually matters. Insomnia, the 3 a.m. terror that runs your nights, was so rare among these people that 2 of the 3 languages don't have a word for it. Sit with that. A nightmare that grips 1/3 of the modern world, and they never even needed to name it. And he caught the reason in a single detail. They drifted awake in the night, completely unbothered, right as the cold hit its deepest point, the same trough your own body falls into. And then they just let go and sank back down. So maybe the lesson was never sleep in 2. Maybe it's smaller and stranger than that. The best sleepers alive don't fight the dark hour. They don't watch the clock. They don't lie there gripping the sheets, certain they've failed some test nobody set. The waking was never the enemy. The fear of it is the thing we invented, and handed down, and forgot we made. So, 3:11 a.m. Eyes open, the house silent. For almost every human who has ever lived, this exact moment wasn't a symptom of anything. It was just a person, awake in the dark, in the quiet country between 2 sleeps. Tonight, when it comes for you, and it will, you don't have to reach for the phone. You don't have to be afraid. You can let the old door swing open, and wait the way they did, for the second sleep to come and carry you back down.